I love to ride bikes. Not motorcycles, but pedal-powered bikes. When it comes to biking, there are two different types of bikes that are most popular. There's road biking and there's mountain biking. My particular preference is mountain biking. There's something about it that just really gets to me. The sound of nature all around me, the sound of my tires rolling over the trail, my heavily beating heart, the deep breathing from the exertion. It's just all wonderful. It's something I'm really passionate about. I love to do it. I'm pretty much hooked for life. I'll steal away every opportunity I can and try and get a good couple-hour ride in. Recently, I was out riding on a familiar local trail, and it was after a couple of weeks of really, really hard rains. And I noticed something. I noticed that the trail had become dotted with some pretty intense ruts that from the force of the water of those rains going down the grade. Now, normally, I would only notice those as a hazard because I don't want to get my bike caught in those, because two things can happen. If you're riding down a trail and you get caught in a rut, one thing can happen, you can just get thrown off your line and get off balance. Or worse, you could get tossed off the bike, which is no fun. On this occasion, there was something about the sight that grabbed my attention, and the Lord used the moment to make a spiritual analogy. The ruts reminded me of the power of sin and the power that sin over time can take in our lives. The force of gravity over water causes it to flow faster and faster as it goes downhill. The principle involved is that of equilibrium. Water seeks to find its own balance. It's where we get the phrase, water seeks its own level. In the process of finding its own level, water will take the path of least resistance as it winds its way down the grade. That's why a river will take a snaking path as it winds its way to the sea. Our sin nature in its effect is much the same way. Left to our own devices, we too will take the path of least resistance and meander our way down to an unfortunate end. Just like the ruts on the trail, sin in its first stages will carve it only a small groove. But as we descend deeper and deeper into a sinful thought, a sinful attitude, a sinful action, the gash gets deeper and deeper, wider and wider, and soon the walls are so high and the speed of the descent so fast that we are hopeless until we hit rock bottom. A person trapped in that cycle sees no escape, and at that point they find that their path is determined by the direction of the rut itself. The only thing that's able to prevent the ravages of this rapid descent is an outside force that's able to redirect the path of the water. A civil engineer will design a path that takes the water down a safer and slower route, bringing it to a place of balance and rest. God has designed a way for us, and that way is the person of Jesus Christ. Our belief in the gospel, Christ's death and resurrection, and our confession of Christ as Lord is the outside force that redirects our path and brings us to a place of safety and rest. Proverbs 16:25 reads, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but the end is the way of death." Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." The question for each of us every day, whether we're on a bike, in a car, or just on the path of life, is which direction will we choose? Will we choose the path with the ruts or without the ruts? I pray the choice is obvious.